All right, guys, we're live. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. This is the beginning where we talk about tools, probably for the next 15 minutes. So, hold on one second, guys.
Yeah, it's not live on YouTube yet.
It's live, but I'm getting interference here.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Now the problem is I'm not seeing any of the comments.
There go
What's up,
Benny. Do you see
Benny?
Benny?
I got nothing.
Benny just commented. Refresh the page. Benny is here. Let's see.
Good old Benny. How about them hail cars? Nah, I still got nothing. Got nothing.
Refresh the page.
I
Look
did.
to scroll to the bottom.
Out
You're on your iPad.
There's nothing there. Top chat. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
What's up?
What's going on, Benny?
He said he's still waiting on them cars.
It's all good. I'm slammed. we got the new hail damage in Baltimore. It's called the wind damage and tree damage.
What's up, Will?
What's going on,
all right,
Will?
so getting some guys in here. All right, so Ryan, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Ryan from RPS Dent Specialist out of Baltimore, Maryland. How are you guys doing today?
Dave with Windy City Dent Repair out of Chicago.
And of course, Chris with Dentless Touch, Washington, D.C. So let's talk about these new tools, Ryan, that you have. Let's start off with the tools.
Yeah, I got some new stuff today from Dent Technology. Sent me. There's a new window bar. It's almost retractable. Billet aluminum center, carbon sides. It goes to 2 lengths, so it'll work in a window or a door. The build quality is really, really nice. Really, with carbon and billet, you can't ask for anything better than that. I mean, really. If you're looking for a window guard that you're going to buy one time, like a window bar, this would be it. It's a little heavy, so if you travel a lot, I definitely wouldn't buy it. But if you're a route guy or even a hail guy that just really likes stuff that's a one time buy, I mean, this thing is awesome. It's absolutely
huge.
So it's a window.
It's a window bar. It's got 2 straps. A strap that goes in
okay.
here, a strap in here.
Okay.
I just don't have it in the unit, but it goes wide, like a for lift gate, and then goes small for like a window. So just how smooth the expansion part of it is, and how easy it is on the fingers. Everything's kind of milled out and riveted with your finger. It's really, really cool.
Wow.
I've also got his new solid carbon rod. It's got an adjustable handle at the back, so you just take the Allen key out. And you can put it in this hole, and it adds another 2 inches of rod. It's a solid rod. I think the use on this, for me, is going to be bedsides on trucks. I really think that the thinness of it and the stoutness, I mean, this thing, you really can't even bend it. No, I mean, this thing is super strong. I had another tech here this afternoon. We were looking at the stuff that came in, and this thing is super strong. I've got the Carbon Tech rod and some other stuff, and I mean, none of them budge. It's carbon, but I've never had anything that was solid carbon. So I'll have to let you guys know next week. I do a ton of bedsides, bunch of Chevy Silverado bedsides, so I think this thing's going to be a winner.
Now, when I came that one time, Ryan, you had said something about putting carbon on carbon, right? You're not supposed
Yes,
to. So
yes.
putting that on that carbon window bar, is not
I haven't.
good.
I've always read carbon on carbon. I don't know what it's going to do with the billet, so I'm going to
Okay.
try it. I'm the roof master over here, so I've got a big van roof to do on Wednesday, so I'm going to try both of them and see what it does. Take the gamble. So the quality of the carbon is good. You hear a lot of guys. You have the Carbon Tech rod, which I also have. It's an awesome rod. I've used it all summer. Um, and this stuff is they try to say that the textured carbon is a little stronger than the shiny carbon. I almost think it's just a finish on the carbon. I don't think it's the
Yeah.
actual carbon itself.
Mm.
I think it's just different ways that it's manufactured.
What are some of those tips? Did you said you had tips or something?
Yeah, we got a little bit of a variety. He's got his new tip holder, his Dent Technology tip holder. Um, he's got his new swivel tip. Now, what this tip is really made for is the big smashes on hail. Um, it looks like it's a flat tip,
It
and
does look like flat,
it's actually
beveled a
it's got a
little.
little beveled at the top. I have one of the original ones that I've
Yeah,
had and
me
I've
too.
used, and it's worked pretty well. But this one's actually a little more sharp in the center, a little tighter also. So the other good thing is I'm working on that roof on Wednesday, so I'm going to give it a whirl and see what happens. It's sharper in the center than the other one, so at least there's definitely been some updating of it. So we'll see what happens with that. This is another tip that I use all the time. I think it's a saber tooth. This thing eats up hail damage. I put this right on there without even an extension, right in the tip of the rod. Um, and it is just awesome because I'm a sharp tool guy. So, I mean, the no extension, the length is perfect. I actually got this tip from MTE and just tear it up. So,
See, I
if you
like
guys,
that because I have the edgy tool
the
tip,
super sharp one, yeah, the
the
golf
super
tool is
sharp
even
one, and
harder.
I was using it improperly, and it actually split. It broke right off. The tip broke.
Really?
Oh
But that's
wow.
because it gets really thin right at the top, for a nice sharp
Mhm.
point. That looks like it has a nice sharp point, but it has some girth to it. So yeah, so it
Yeah.
won't. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick one of those up.
Yeah, it's a good tip. It's definitely a good tip. Like I said, I've been using mine since MTE, so it's been an awesome tip. I was using the Dead on Dent Tools 50 cal tip, and then I went to this, and I haven't gone back. So
All this new stuff. I'm still on the Dentcraft stuff.
we'll
You
get
gotta
you there,
take the
Chris.
cap
We'll get you
off
there.
and
We'll
keep it
get you
moving.
there. We'll get you there. We
Oh
did get one
man.
more that I'm actually super excited about. This is his new nano rod. This is the telescoping rod.
Oh, that
The
looks
weight of
good.
it, the build quality again. I mean, I just it's a really nice, well made. It's got
That
some weight
looks
to it.
really, really nice.
Yeah,
It's
that
got
looks
some weight
good.
to it, and the locking mechanism is tight. I mean, I was cranking on this thing earlier today, but like I said,
Mm.
Wednesday this thing's gonna get a workout. So we'll let you know next week. Let you know next week on what we're looking at, as in uh, what it does. Give you the goods and the bads. So keep your eyes out. Definitely tune in for next week. That's all I've got for you guys this week.
That's all the tools. I haven't picked up anything. I'm still using. I'm still trying to get through all my stuff from MTE, and I still have yet to use my dentile, or at least have a place to bend it. Because
A
I
vice, a
remember,
vice.
I know
I,
I need to
I
figure
use
out a place to.
the tow hitch, the tow hitch in the back of my truck.
Dave Johnson said, "Drive your car over it
That,
and bend it that way." And I was
that's
like,
what he was
"Yeah, that's not
saying.
going to
I
happen."
just don't feel like popping my tire on the car either. So
Yeah. The I know I ordered I have the Pro PDR glue guns, and
Mm.
at first it was a little weird. I have actually several glue guns now, But the fact that you can swap them out, I think they're like a $25 glue gun. So now I keep a gray glue, the tab weld,
Yeah.
a black that I'm trying out, and then the green. So I'm able to switch glues on the fly. So that's kind of my new tool that I keep in my truck now. So um
You
other
definitely
tools
getting
for
some questions in
fenders.
there.
Yeah, let's go ahead and answer some questions. It's 7 anyway. So
So
let's scroll up.
Chipperoo, any tools you recommend for fenders? Um, I've recently purchased the dent dial. I do a lot of fender smashes, and the dent
He said
dial is
anything
awesome.
other than the Dindal.
I'm telling you, that thing it's worth every dime. If Chris,
Yeah, it
like I said
is.
last week, Chris told me, gotta get it, gotta get it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a
It
good
is
tool.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a versatile tool. So I use it pretty much every day. I use it today. Same thing that he was talking about on the fender, right on the very edge. I actually have a picture I should post up, but I use that today with that. I think it called the lip tip. I think that's what it's called. Do you know what it's called, Dave?
I do not. I do not.
Yeah, I think it's
I
called
thought
the
it was
lip
like,
tip.
yeah.
I don't have any of his tips either, so I need to actually order those up.
Yeah, I think those Jose. Hey, what's up, Jose? Question if you have time.
What's a good blending hammer? Well, what's a good blending hammer there, Ryan? Out of the 150 that you own.
There is. I've got a Shane Jacks. I just picked up the PDR Finesse. It's a wooden handle hammer. I keep
Mm.
going back to my Korean hammer from Dent Technologies. The weight, the length, it's an awesome tool. I actually turned Dave Johnson from Dent Wizard onto it today. He even said that's the best blending hammer he's used. Just the weight, it's just an awesome hammer. A lot of
I
his
have a
hammers, when you buy them, you have to polish the head. They come raw, so you
okay.
have to polish them.
And I think that's where a
Oh,
lot of people
right.
get confused with that. A lot of people don't understand that, that they need to go ahead and do that because I know a lot of people. I've been seeing some
See how it's
complaints and
raw?
stuff. Yeah.
This isn't the Korean hammer, but I'm just showing how the raw. If you put even just take your little mini buffer and a little bit of rubbing compound, I mean, it just shines it up just a little bit and it won't mar.
Hmm. I have
So
one of the original technology hammers. I love it. Shane Jack's hammer. I love it. Those are pretty much the only two that I use for blending.
Yeah, I
And
have the
I
new Kiko
can't.
one. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You have to. It does bend. So if you like to keep your blending hammer, your tools, that's not one for it. For some reason, it has a aluminum rod in the middle of it, plastic, and it just flexes. So you gotta watch out for that. But I use a custom hammer that I'm probably gonna get made in May if anybody's interested. So stay tuned for that. I think the weight plays a big part in blending on certain cars
yeah,
and even certain dents. So sometimes my little custom hammer, it won't get the job done. So I think it's good to have a light one. I use that titanium one with the real thin, long handle, wooden handle. I actually like that. I didn't like it at first. It stayed in my toolbox for roughly 6 months, 8 months. Started using it more. And actually turn it on the other side because there's a point on the other side, and actually hit it with my like a paddle, just to knock down some of the little highs that I may have missed. So I like that. Who makes red door jam? Who makes that red door jam? Do you remember that? I forgot who
uh,
makes that.
spec.
Yeah,
Are you talking about the
that's
spec
what it
one?
is.
Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep. I'm
yeah.
gonna find
They
it.
make a they make a. It's really, I think the one you use is it's a hatch jammer. That's the one that even Dave O just bought it at MTE this year.
That's the one I just
Yep.
bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the hatch
Um,
jammer.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a link in there for you. Find it.
And they also make the extendable part for that hatch
Steck.
handle.
STECK.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
What's going on,
Yeah.
James? What's up, John?
their other tool? Where's it?
Uh,
Yeah.
Dave O got it up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the spec tool.
Yeah,
What
I was
happened?
getting some good feedback on that that last Porsche video that I did. That was definitely in
For real?
pain. Yeah, it was definitely some good feedback.
It's
That's
good.
That was
good.
definitely some good feedback.
That's a tough repair. I
That
told you
was
no at
really,
10
really
o'clock.
tough. That was tough. That was definitely tough.
I was like, no way.
A full
Nope.
9 hours, no breaks.
There you go.
Customer was more than happy.
It's all that matters.
The hardest part was them starting the repair themselves. That was like the toughest part.
Yeah, working behind him.
Yeah, I mean, if he never touched it, if the customer had never touched the actual damage in the first place, it probably would have been half the time. But there was so much locked pressure in so many different areas that I was just trying to work through all that and literally push through all of that.
It's the worst.
But no, it came out. Yeah, no, it came out great. It came out great. Definitely some good feedback.
I think Jose had a question, but he didn't. He just asked to ask the question. So just go ahead and ask it. Just type it in, and we'll get to it for sure. So I want to talk about some of the challenges. Today was a rough day for me. I just couldn't get anything right. Everything was taking extremely long to repair. So I want to talk about the challenges that we have. Some as a 13-year tech. And Ryan, I'm pretty sure you have your own challenges. So, did anyone want to go first?
I think the biggest challenge out there is breaking if you're a route guy, getting accounts. A lot of guys have trouble getting accounts. Everywhere you go, everybody's got a guy. And you go in there and you cold call and you get beat down. I mean, I remember weeks of just going in and I've got a guy, and you're like, just give me a chance. Give me a chance. I know I'm better than your guy. Just give me a chance.
So
So, that's definitely,
you still struggle
I
with that,
have,
right?
to be honest with you, I'm kind of put the hold on it because I'm right now looking for a tech. I'm kind of really not trying to take on a whole lot of new accounts just because I can't handle what I have. But I remember exclusively exactly what, every used car manager would say, or just the feeling you get when you walk in and they just blow you off.
don't
So
even get your
they don't
car.
even
Don't
want to
even.
talk to you. It's
Yeah,
just, it's,
I had one just
it's,
throw my car right in the trash.
me too.
Come on, man.
Right in front of me.
Give me
Right in front of
anything
me.
you got.
Yep.
Yep. So, Dave.
I think it's the damage, honestly. I think accounts and all that stuff will come with your skill if you're able to prove that you can, especially now with being able to put your work out there for other people to see. Challenging yourself just daily with doing better repairs, bigger repairs. The accounts I think will come and people will start to recommend you. Actually, I think it was Saturday. I had gotten a Facebook message. Hey, I can get you a new account. Their dent guy sucks. I appreciate it. I'm not looking to pick up any more wholesale right at this time, though. I really do appreciate it. I'm not even looking for accounts when they're coming, but that's because people are seeing the skill level. People are seeing the damage that I'm able to repair and that the company will eventually, everyone will be able to repair. Like that's the goal. Everyone can be top-notch techs. And I think that accounts and the workload and everything else will just come. That's just me, but the biggest challenge is pushing yourself and constantly pushing yourself, trying to be better. There's going to be days where you really don't feel like doing anything. There's going to be 2 days. There's going to be 3 days where you really don't feel like doing anything. But you know what? When that day comes and you do put those tools in your hand, you're pushing yourself to actually strive to, no, I'm going to fix that. It's going to take me a little longer. I'm not going to get as much money for it. But you know what? I'm just going to prove to myself that I'm the better guy because I do not want anyone else coming behind me. That's it. And the work, the accounts will then come. I mean, everything else will just fall into place. But if you can't actually perform the task that, is actually at hand and do it well, then having all this work doesn't mean anything. It's the skill. This is what we have. We have this skill, and pushing yourself to become the best you can at it. Everything else will just fall into place. That's just
And a
my
lot of it's this.
Yeah.
Your
Windy.
brain.
What, the
You know what I
Windy
mean?
City, the
Not the
branding,
Windy
or what?
City.
It
But
is.
the mental end of it. You know, you're talking
Yeah.
yourself, man, I don't know if I can handle this. I don't
Yeah.
know. And you're
Yeah.
getting halfway through and in your head you're like, oh man, I'm not I think I'm wasting my time. And then you're like, let me just push through it, push through it. And you're like at the end, you're like, okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
got
I got
that.
this. I got this.
And then now you're going to be able to do that in half the time next time
Yes.
because you've already
Yes.
done it once.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, today made me come up with that question. My back was hurting, my eyes were fatigued. I just couldn't see anything. It was two white cars I was working on, and my light was I think my light is just dim. I gotta send that back, but I was not feeling it. Stuff that should have took me an hour and a half was taking me
Mm-hmm.
3-4 hours to do, and I could just tell I had an off day. I'm just gonna push through it, get it done, and 3 o'clock rolled around, and I had everything done, even though I started at 8, literally pushing at 8. Um, it is what it is, but I was able to be done by 3, and get a few cars out. So,
My challenge today is getting my power back at my house would be amazing. Not having power since Friday. I know I've got lights behind me. We've got a generator. I get like a couple lights in the house, but oh man, let me tell you how nice power is. I don't know how the Amish do it.
Yeah.
so, so let's talk about we'll talk about the Centipede tab. I don't really have it, but I think a lot of people do use
I
it.
don't. I have it. I have it with the K bar, but I didn't really understand the way to use it until MTE this last year. The way he was
Oh, yeah.
really using the centipede on certain damage and the what it can actually do when set up properly is
Mhm.
crazy. As a route guy, as a mobile guy, it's not always as easy to have a nice clean panel in the perfect temperature with the perfect pulley angle. Like, so we have to come up with some crazy stuff, especially mobily and like on the route. So I don't think I use it to its full capability. But I have seen the videos, and Jonathan from Kiko showed it very, very well. What it
Yeah,
can
he's
actually
awesome.
do with the right application, with the right setup, with the right environment. What it is pulling rockers and all that, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean it's some crazy stuff. I mean, but it's 30 degrees here today. I don't think it's going to be holding on as tight as if I was in a nice warm body shop with that
Oh yeah.
panel nicely heated and everything. So I do have it, and with the K bar, I'm still learning it because I don't use it as often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was that what is that adjustable one that kind of you can
The
move it in
slot
different,
bar.
not
No,
the
the
slot bar.
new
What's that other one?
adjustable centipede ones.
Centipede ones. I
Oh,
I I
see, I
use
thought it
the
was. Oh, I'm
centipede
thinking of
ones.
caterpillar.
Yeah,
I know there's like caterpillar and then
yeah.
centipede. So which? Okay.
I don't know which one he's talking. I think it's the centipede one is the one you were talking about. I've used it to pull some quarter panels. It works good. Just the way you can mount it, the way you can. I actually have a chain that attaches to it, and
Yeah.
we used a frame machine to pull it. So it works. It
Oh,
works well.
on that Tahoe
Yeah, on the
bedside
Tahoe,
quarter, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. If you go to, I think I had it on my Instagram. I still have it on my Instagram. I was pulling that quarter panel on the Tahoe, and that's a tough area to pull.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
hopefully,
So
then now
Jonathan
let's talk
says that.
about blending.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
you say, blending's the main thing he struggles with. Um,
it's
and
understandable.
I
Yes.
just you know
Practice.
yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
really really it.
Hmm.
Is just
And I'm
really
still
I think
practicing.
I think the one thing that helped me out, I used to do it obviously in a limited board or whatever light, ultra dent tools light. But if you try that chubby HD light or anything that has that wide fade, I'm faster at blending rails with that light. And I
But
normally
what are
wouldn't
you
say that
doing
about
with
a
the
light.
actual application of blending? What are
Well,
you doing with that hammer?
So
to quote unquote
so
blend that dent out?
I've been blending. I was taught blending roughly 9 years ago, and I forgot who came down and taught us. But anyway, he would actually kind of vibrate the metal, so hit just
Mhm.
enough where he wouldn't leave any marks, any lows, and it will actually vibrate the metal and actually lift that dent up. And as he was talking before he demonstrated that process, I was just basically saying, "What is he doing? Just creating a whole bunch of lows or making the whole panel low?" And no, this dent was literally lifting up, and he did not use any glue or anything. So I think I don't know what they consider blending now. I guess now I use glue. I lift it up and then I blend it out. Um, so I don't know what they consider blending now. You don't even have glue, nothing. Now he was only able to do it on rails and very shallow dents, obviously. But
Hey, Jose,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still like I've watched a couple dent trainer videos and I've watched other technicians quote unquote blend, dents out. I've seen the troughs being made. I've seen the linear
Mm-hmm.
lines that are made where it looks like it's out, perpendicularly, but then you go parallel and it's
Mm-hmm.
still there. There's now you just created a crease. Um,
Yes.
and it's tough. It's very, very tough. It's a lot of practice.
A
And
lot
I
of
think
hand and
it's
eye
just
coordination.
a lot of hand-eye coordination, finding that perfect hammer, finding the that's going to fit in your hand, um, the balance of it, and the way it's going to
The weight.
vibrate off of
Mm-hmm.
that panel. I mean, every double panels, every roof rail is going to be different for every car,
Yep.
and it bouncing, quote unquote, bouncing off of that metal and vibrating, to lift that. It's its own art within art. It's its
Yeah.
own like skill within the skill that we have. I mean, it's pretty hard to do. And I think it only comes down to practice.
John keeps calling my hammer. I agree with you, Dave. Sometimes I just cannot use my heavy hammer, and I have to get something light. Subaru rails, or even the type
Oh,
of damage. I don't want to do too much
they're the
to it.
worst.
So
The
yeah, they
worst
are the
rails.
worst.
So Jose asked a question, but I can't quite find it.
I
He
can't
said it
find
was a
it
long
either.
question.
No, he said he was going to write it. He said he had it written up. I said to send it. Um,
Oh, okay.
but how many customers or jobs are you guys doing per day? Not talking money, but just customers on average. Um, I'll go. So for me, it varies every day. Sometimes if I have one big job, it's that job for the day. If I know I have a lot of little jobs, I can do anywhere between 5 to 7, 7 to 10, depending if a body shop has called me to zip over there, do a car there, zip over to another shop, do there.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm anywhere between one for the day, roughly up to 10 to 15 if I'm at my dealer that day too. 15 to 20. It just kind of depends on the day. I know you guys are yours are a little more sporadic. Chris, I think you're a little more
Yeah. We,
organized with what's coming in per day, whereas
yeah. So
opposed to where we're a little on the fly
we our average is around 15 to 20 cars, and that's with me doing
per day.
uh per day. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of wholesale. I think we did 14 cars today through the guys. So four of them were wholesale. I mean, retail, sorry. So that's pretty much I try on a busy day we can do 20 to 25, and it's a mixture. It's wholesale, body shop, and retail. And that's if it's just me personally, I handle most of the retail and a little bit of body shop repairs. So I'm doing between 4 and 5 repairs a day. Some of the videos that you see me working, the Porsche video, the latest video, I actually did 3 more appointments after that. After doing that Porsche video, so after doing the Porsche, so that's
I'm Repair jobs, it varies any day. I mean, there's some days I could do 2 really bad smashes, and then other days I can have 10 cars. So it's a very sporadic job. It's hard. You can almost not plan your day because you never know what one thing can sidetrack your whole day.
And even if, if I have a customer that calls me and and they're looking for an estimate, and I'll ask where they're at. If I'm in that area, okay, well, I can get to it today. I may have time to kind of slip them in too, into my schedule. If I had them send me photos already, and then they called me right after they sent the photos, and I said, yeah, I just took a look at it. Where are you located? And if it's something that I know I can get done possibly within a half hour, 45 minutes, or it's not going to screw up my day too much, then yeah, I'll kind of, try to scoot it in there. So yeah, for me, it's anywhere between I'd say 1 to 10 or 1 to 15, cars per day. And that could be, sometimes only 3 cars per day. That sometimes can only mean that one. It could mean 7. Just being mobile, you kind of have that luxury, but then sometimes it can get a little hectic at times.
Looks like Igor asked, "Hi guys, thanks for answering my questions the last show. Here's one more question. If you start your business over again, what would you do differently this time?"
Great question.
That's a
That is
really,
a
really good question. A really good question.
Good question. Anybody want to go first? Because I got some ideas in my head.
You go for it, Chris. You go for it.
You guys go.
I think I would change the name, man. I really think. I don't know.
You think that
I
your
just think
biggest downfall is your name?
I don't know, man.
Come on.
I don't know, man. I think I would change the name, and I would probably be like when I started. I would probably stand my ground. When I first started this business, I was taking anything, and I was already a skilled technician, but I was a little fearful. I was the new guy on the block or new on the block, and I just took whatever I could. And it's okay to do it for like a year, maybe a year and a half, and use it as a step. But I literally took it for like 4 years, just sitting there and just working at night. I did the CarMax at night, and they were paying me not pennies on the dollar because I was working for myself. It was good money, but it's just working until.
But did those
11,
experiences are you going to say they're not going to contribute to the tech that you are today, though?
It did. What it didn't do though is a lot of techs are hidden. So I wasn't exposed to getting out there, building my website, stuff like that. I was just basically, of course I was making money. That was great. But I would get a call. I would finish doing like 5 or 6 cars at this wholesale. And I mean, you'll be happy to get a 4-inch dent. That's how bad this wholesaler was. And it's an hour and 15 minutes from my house, 3 hours if I'm running into traffic. And he will want me up there at 4. And if you know the traffic pattern, it's pretty hard to get to. So, I'm doing the cars. It's 11, 12 o'clock at night. I leave and no respect. He just calls me and says, "Hey, you missed a dent." And I'm thinking to myself, man, I am tired. I'm on my way home. I wake up at 6 o'clock every day at that time because I had appointments at 8. So I don't know. I wish I would have spent that time going out, passing out cars to the dealership and maybe doing that 1 day a week and not doing that 4 days a week and growing the actual brand. I think that is what I would do differently. And then the name, I don't know.
You got a good name, Chris. You're good.
Solid. It's solid.
You're good.
What about you guys?
Ryan, go ahead.
I think technology. I would have grasped technology a little earlier. I mean, even Facebook. I've only been on Facebook for 4 years. And it's been out for I don't know how long. And then I realized how much it was actually helping me. Some of you guys are younger, Dave and Chris. I'm an old dude over here. So you've got the technology end on it.
I know we finally got you some AirPods.
I know, magic things. Magic things.
Oh man.
I just think technology, and I came out of the gate when I started this thing like fire. I think I would have strategically done it, not just blasted myself out there and shocked the industry. I kind of shocked the local market a little bit when I really made a push. So I think I should have strategically put myself out there instead of just physically going out hammering everything. So,
yeah.
It's not a bad thing. I'm a busy tech, so I'm super lucky that I have work every day. So I can't, can't take that for granted. But the marketing and the branding is my thing. I've always done really well with marketing and branding.
Well, for me, and as infant stage as Windy City Dent Repair is,
Infant stage.
learning more about business.
Hmm.
That would be right now number one. I can push a dent out. I can sell accounts. I can talk to customers. I can meet with people. I can shake hands. I can kiss babies. I can talk to anyone at a dealership. No problem. When it comes to numbers, when it comes to running a business, man, it
It's
is
a lot
tough.
harder.
It's a lot harder,
Yeah.
and when you're wearing all of these hats and I only want to
Mhm.
focus on these other, these certain, I want to make videos and I want to push dents and I want to get work. But when it comes down to it, if you're not making money or if you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business. It's not a business. It's just you making money, and then that's it. You're just going and making money for yourself, which isn't a bad thing. But I think if you want more, like I think we all do, you want that little that
Scale.
organization and kind of scaling, or that option to scale or the opportunity to scale. You're going to need to know your numbers. And it's tough for a lot of guys, especially when they're good at more creative, or they're good at little art, being more artsy with what we do. Running an actual business can be really tough. So asking for help, I wish I would have asked for help a lot earlier for certain things, which ego got in the way. Ego got in the way. I want to do it all. I'm the owner. I want to do it all. I want to do everything. Well, you're not going to get very far doing that. And I've now realized over time, especially within the last couple months, that asking for help from the right people who are willing to give help and help you, that's key. And that's what I would have started from the jump. That's what I would have started asking for help from certain people for certain things a lot earlier, which would have made at least the last, I'd say 7 to 8 months, even last year, a lot easier for me.
Well, I think for business, it's all a learning curve anyway
Curve.
for
Yep.
everybody. So, I mean, to me, that's my joy that I'm doing something that I didn't do last year, and I'm learning the process. I'm actually trying to learn better leadership skills so I can be a better mentor for my guys. I mean, those are things that people don't realize. Yeah, I want to, do different jobs and become a better tech always, but I still got to run a business. So I think the best thing I can do is become a better leader. So
Yeah.
that's the thing I'm actually working the right way. So, and I think that's how I get guys that understand what I'm thinking and will make the right decision and push forward through these repairs or business.
And I think one thing that's helped is, just like Dave and Chris, we talk every day. So, hey, Chris, what do you think about this? Or I'm having this
Yeah.
issue with this customer. That's been a huge help. Just having a different outlook from
Yeah.
two different guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in your market, network with guys. Even if they're a competitor, it only
Mm-hmm.
makes you stronger. I could call Dave today and say, hey, I've got 30 hail cars to do. Let's do this. He's going to get in his car and he's going to drive here. Chris, I need
Pretty
help with
much.
this busted hail car. It happens. So always
Yep.
network.
And I'm halfway
Network is
across the
definitely a key.
country.
And see,
So,
I think people might see us as friends. A side note, like I have a competitor literally in my area. He lives, I think, about 4 miles from my shop, and he actually has keys to my shop. So anything, if I just can't get there, or he wants to run a car into the shop, it's his customer. I let him use my shop. We're all in the mud together. So sometimes I might need him. Plenty of times he needs me. Uses my shop a lot. But then I can bounce ideas off of him. He's 14-year tech or 15-year tech. I've helped him out on a few things and on some training aspects. I even helped him train his guy. He came up one day. We rented a car and knocked some dents in it and did some training dents for these guys. And I had him teaching him. So it's just anything. I think like you said, Ryan, just networking with your guys and becoming friends, even with
Mm-hmm.
a competitor. You'd be surprised what you can pick up,
Yep.
with the friendship. So
Now we have another question. It says, "Do you guys ever go in person for an estimate?" Um, I have. I do quite a
mm.
bit. I think I started, I guess, a year or two ago. I almost
Oh,
pre-qualify them with a picture. I try to get them to send me a picture because we were running around all over town and they were just smashes. I mean, I would say 50% of the pictures that we get need body shops. The paint's missing or they hit a
Yeah.
guardrail. You go around quite a bit too, Dave, don't you?
No.
No?
I I will do everything I can to not go around. I
Okay.
will do everything I can based off of photos. And if you can't take the time out of your day to go to your vehicle that you're going to walk to either in the morning or at night and send me 3 to 5 photos, if I don't know what you want me to tell you. I mean, you're gonna walk to your car in the morning, or you're gonna go back to it after work, or you're gonna leave. There's gonna be a point in time within you calling me or texting to where you're able to take your phone and send
No, of course.
photos. Now,
Unless you
if
get the
they
older customer.
now, so if they do call, and I can get that over the phone. I can hear over the phone if they're elderly or something like that.
I'm an old guy. I
Um,
don't know how to use that technology. I get that all the
Pretty
time.
much, pretty much is what'll happen. And, I try everything I can to say, can you get a friend to? Can you get your cousin? Can you get your wife? Can you get someone in your family to take the photos? Because that is time out of my day. That is time that I am not making money. I now have to go travel to look at a car
Mhm.
that may or may not be fixable. And then I'm going to give them a price on the spot that they didn't think was going to be either that price or it was going to be too high or too low or whatever they had in their head. Then it's going to come into me trying to sell it right on the spot. That in itself depending on how far they are from me, can be anywhere from a half hour to 2 to 3 hour process. I
Yeah.
want to minimize all of that within my
Oh yeah.
day because I already have stuff scheduled. So if I'm taking time out to just go do an estimate, it's tough. And I try to refrain, if at all possible, to do that.
I had one
So
today that was, "What is your range for dent repair? Price range?" And I'm like, "Well, you're in between $95 and 5,000." And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I don't even know what kind of car you have. So she just wanted to price it, and it's hard to price them. It's very hard.
yeah,
How about you, Chris?
pricing even off of pictures. Well, there's the pictures is fine. I do something a little different. I want the customer to tell me what they think the size is. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. I have some customers I've learned over the years that when you see a picture, they think you pretty much nailed the estimate just because they sent you a picture, and it's very few. There's a ton of disclaimers you can make them check and sign, and whatever the case may be. They're still going to hold you to that price and feel some type of way if it's more. So I always ask, what size of the dent do you think it is? You can use like, is it a grapefruit? Is it a tissue box? What is it? And I get an inch, like 7 inch. Okay, well, for a 7 inch dent, I send in an email. 7 inch dent is this amount. So when it comes to me and it's 14 inches, I can say, ma'am, I gave you an estimate for 7 inches. As we can see, it's 14 inches. So here's the price for 14 inches. And they feel it's a different type of vibe I get. They kind of go, oh, okay, I didn't really measure it. I just kind of
Hmm.
guess. I'm like, okay. Well, your cell phone is roughly, 5 or 6 inches, and it's way past your cell phone. So that's a good tool to use. Or I tell them over the phone. But most of the time I can sell it when they get there. They've already invested the time to come to my shop. So most of the time they're okay with the pricing that I give them.
Now we have another question here.
But
Do you guys ever use Cola Fria?
nope.
Um, I love the tab tape, which is pretty much Cola Frio on these plastic tabs. I use them on large damage all the time. I don't actually have the Cola Fria whole slide hammer thing, but the tab tape works great. Dave hates it, never really uses it. You
I
don't
never
need it,
used it.
Chris, do you?
I had it. I had it when it first
I
came
use
out, and then the package that it came in just like broke apart, and it was just getting everywhere, and it wasn't. I think he's got a new packaging system now that I think is a little cleaner, um, which maybe I may pick up, version 2.5, whatever he's on now. But at first I had no desire to use it. It wasn't pulling like I thought it should. I don't. Maybe I just wasn't using it the right way.
Hmm.
There could
Alcohol,
be. Yeah.
heat
There
it up
just
with a
wasn't.
torch. I make it to where it's almost stringy. When you heat it up so much on the tab
Yeah.
to where you can touch it with your finger and it's almost stringy. I'm telling you, on
Well, now
large
he's got
batteries,
the
I'm
new
killing you.
the new case is a 12-volt case that actually warms the tab tape up.
Yeah.
I saw, so I may pick that up to see, and just keep it in the back of the truck. But the actual Cola Fria itself, I had an awesome guy from Brazil, wherever he was from. We connected on Facebook. I helped him out with. He sent me a couple of questions one time, and we just kind of connected. And thank you, Facebook Translate or Google Translate or whatever. He was able to ask me questions, and I was able to respond. But he actually brought actual Cola Fria to me. But I didn't have the swivel tip. I didn't have the proper application for it. I still have it. I just haven't used it for what it should be used for. And now with the Illuminant, how fast it does heat up. I mean, if I know I'm going to something, I'll take my glue gun and I'll put it in my passenger seat, turn it on high, knowing knowing what I have coming up. I'll throw it on high, and it's gonna be hot by the time I get there. I'll just kind of do it that way.
I will say the Stucky glue gun warms up like 3 times faster.
But it doesn't with no Makita, and then I got to get a certain battery. I got to plug. Come on, I'm trying to do this easy here.
I'm just saying, I was shocked. I turned it on, did something, and I look back and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This thing is ready to go? What? So
I'm
gonna actually test that.
glue gun.
So,
It's
nice. It heats up nice.
Always making me buy more stuff.
I know normally I have it in the back of the truck, and I turn it on. I'm ready to work. I'm just waiting. So I don't know.
Do you guys have?
Go ahead.
I was say, do you guys have people sign waivers?
I should.
Glue pulling retail waivers. That's all I do. Whenever I have to glue pull and it's a retail, I always have them sign.
So when I do Mobile Tech RX, I was saying when I do Mobile Tech RX, I always add the signature. It's just the factory stock Mobile Tech RX waiver. And I think I actually copied and pasted from, I think maybe one of Chris's waivers, someone's waiver. I actually copied and pasted a little bit and put when you see down here. Yeah. And I just put that in, basically allowing us to work on the vehicle. But it doesn't state anything that, we're not liable for much, and which I think it does need to be reworded a little bit better. But I do have them just sign that stock waiver before.
Looks like James Brown's asking, why did you guys decide to work for yourself versus working for a company? Go ahead, Chris.
I got fired, so
I work for a corporate company and I work for a couple independent companies. There were some things that they both did that I wasn't really a fan. It gets to a point in your life when you sit back. I remember when I started this company, it was Father's Day, and I was having dinner with my wife, and I looked at her and I said, I think I'm going to start my own company. And she's like, are you crazy? I can remember it to today. I would never look back. In this business, it's a tough business to start, from nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it's difficult. When you work for a company, I am an ex-Dent Wizard guy, so I worked for them for a lot of years, and they fed you work. You constantly had accounts. You never really had to grind it and do that route cold calling. Always had a sales guy, always had, accounts, big corporate accounts come through. When you start your own, I mean, it is just going months, weeks of just getting kicked
and you're
down.
A competitor.
So it's. What about you, Dave? You just.
I don't like people tell me what to do. I mean, it's not that I like people. I mean, I don't like people telling me what to do. It's I don't like people telling me what to do. I don't mind taking advice. I don't mind taking criticism. I don't mind people giving me opinions. I don't mind taking all these things and then structuring them in a certain way. But I just don't feel people who can be competent or or just are incompetent telling me what to do on how to run certain
Hmm.
things or how things should be done when they may have not ever done them themselves.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of when you're just not even just debt repair companies, just companies in general, when you have managers or bosses who haven't done what you do and they're just there, they're not leaders, they're just there for their own paycheck. I hate that. So that's
Yeah.
just kind of my thing.
I'll
And
keep I'll keep
so
mine a little I'll keep mine a little quick. So the little story I have with Fired, I was actually helping out a hail guy, and numbers got mixed up, and he wasn't getting what he told me. He wasn't getting paid from the company, and I don't know if it's a true story on his end, but I told the guys to pay him directly, and that was a no for the company. So they let me go for that, and I was kind of on my way out anyway. Some of the things I just didn't like that they were doing. Nice group of guys. It wasn't me. It wasn't like my end uh, kind of career is with them. So I always wanted to do it, but I definitely was not going to do it. So I think that was kind of God's way of telling me, all right, here you go.
It's
You got it
time, you
now.
know.
It's time, baby. So I don't know. So and the fact that I was helping another tech that's swore up and down he needed to feed his kids. And I was like, everybody's eating. I'm a type of guy that shares, so I'm not gonna, you're not hurting me any. Yeah, you're gonna hurt the company a little bit, but you know, everybody's got to eat. So, but anyway, that's my little spill. Any more questions, Ryan?
Um,
Chris, he's in Virginia, Richmond. Yeah, that's fine. Jonathan, I may come down to Williamsburg soon, so you can either come up or I can come down. Waivers. Oh, we
yeah,
just
here.
passed that one.
What kind of
Title.
warranty do you guys offer? Do you take blame for paint cracking or peeling? Uh,
Yep,
you know,
100%.
it really depends on the damage. You get sometimes a customer says, you're like, I think it's gonna crack, and they're like, well, can you just try? It's on them then. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Next workshop.
it's definitely on them if you get a dent to where you it when you get to kind of the years in that we've got and some of the other guys out there, you almost know when the paint's gonna crack, when the paint, you know your limits there.
I
Sometimes
just
it just happens. Sometimes you just pop the paint off and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do?
I
You
had to
know,
write a check the other day back to a customer. I told her that I would um, uh, pay for the damage because the paint pulled, and that's our fault. It was repainted before and it was bondoed before, and I took the risk and it pulled, and I told her, I said, I'm so sorry, and she was super cool about it. No, it's fine, it's fine. I said, all right, cool, thank you so much. But yeah, I told her, I said, let me know when you take it back to get it fixed. And, I'd be more than happy to at least pay for half of that, for you. She said, okay. So she emailed me when she got it all said and done, gave me the Gerber estimate. And, and she told me what she wanted me to pay, which was pretty much just under half. And I said, okay, no problem. Here you go. It happens. It's part of, it's literally the nature of the business.
we have
Um,
another.
yeah. So that Jose guy sent his question and he emailed it to me. He said he's 19 years old. He's
Okay.
been practicing PDR hail damage for a year and a half. He has
Okay.
a cousin who's a hail tech, but he always travels, so he doesn't really have time to give him one-on-one training. He said he thinks he knows his problem, but he can't seem to fix it. He can't finish dents. He can't glass them. He says he pushes his light back and close to the panel, but he's stuck in that process for a year and a half. And he's like, he feels like he's pushing with no guidance, and he doesn't want to pick up bad self-taught habits. He says he practices mostly every day for 3 to 4 hours, and he's been on the same hood for months. He says he feels he needs more real world experience to get better, but his cousin says not ready because he can't glass anything. He can glass nickel dents in some quarters, but his question is, should he keep practicing or try to go to school, which sometimes isn't financially possible, because they can become expensive. So he's just wondering what you guys think would be best to help him glass something maybe a little bit bigger than a quarter.
I that I've trained, it sounds like you just need to get off that hood, get on something fresh, and just I would
Keep
think
grinding.
year and a half, keep grinding. You're almost there. Uh, I would say try to go down to a used car lot and see if you can do
Stone
something for
lot.
a little cheaper. Yeah, what'd you call it? He said stone lot.
They
Rock
call them
lot,
stone
yeah.
lots.
Like a rock
Yeah,
lot,
so
pot lot,
so
rock lot,
yeah,
Olay
you
auto
can learn a
sales.
lot. You can learn a lot. I whatever you're doing on that hood right now, I don't even maybe not even the best advice is to get another hood. It's maybe just get out of that element. I think you just need
Environment.
a change. Yeah, it's too long to be working on a hood, the same hood, way too long. I would never have a guy work on a hood just to no, it's not. I'm surprised you kept up with it. You're gonna be a hell of a dead guy. so, 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 man, go out and find a little lot that you know is barely might not even pay you. You might have to chase
Exactly.
down money for them, and you go out there, you get your tools, and you tell them what you can work on, what you can't work on, and
Do it for
they'll be
free.
happy. Yeah, do it for free. They'll be so happy that you come there and practice on their hoods or any panel. And I think you're gonna get more comfortable working on different cars. And I say in about 3 months, you're gonna see a huge difference just getting out there. Because after you work on the hood, there's still access. You're still a ton of stuff that you need to learn. So to stay
Tool
on the hood for a year and a
selection.
half, tool,
Jai here says it could be tool selection that he's trying to finish with. If he's not using a sharp enough tool, like I like to
there
finish with
too,
very sharp tools, where you're getting
yeah.
all those little micro lows. If you're not using the right knockdown, especially when you're finishing, if you're still using a fat knockdown, sometimes that can just kind of knock back in areas that you didn't want knocked back in. So for finishing, I would be with a PDR finesse tool, something very, very sharp at least, and then a VIP knockdown. That's what I would be using to finish.
Yeah, I didn't even think about tool selection because I can imagine him just using like a nice push
A
cap
blunt
to
tip.
finish.
Or
Yeah, a little blunt.
yeah.
So I mean, but
Yep, there it
you could watch
is.
some of
That's
my
the
videos.
VIP right there.
You know what
Finishings.
made? Oh, yeah, there you go. Go ahead,
That's the
say something,
2.0, right?
Beast. It's a
Ryan.
beast knockdown. This is it right here. This thing's probably in the last. This is the new one. This is the 2.0, but the old one, it hasn't left my pocket. It's amazing. It's amazing. And guys, we don't get paid to do these tool reviews.
No, it's just
No.
what we use.
This
This is what
honest
we use
reviews.
every day.
Yep.
I'm not trying to
There's
sell
no.
anything. I'm just trying to give this is what I use. This is what I use to finish stuff. And there's guys who use other things. And there's things that Ryan and Chris both use that I don't. And there's stuff that I use that they don't. It's all personal preference and what you're able to perform the art with. Not everyone uses the same paintbrush, but you know what I mean? We all perform the same craft. We're all artists in our own way,
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we answering everything.
Yeah,
James
guys, if we
Round,
miss some, it's
do you have a
their fault.
go-to tool besides Mobile Tech RX that you use on a daily basis? That VIP knockdown has been my go-to lately.
See, I don't have that knockdown.
That's what you said. You need to get them. That's what you need
I
to
need
do.
to get it.
I bought 2 more for Dencraft just the other day.
I have like
you never
my
know.
cart
You
with
never
them.
know when these guys stop making these things. So, I try to buy a couple at a time.
Yeah, VIP. You want to send the link, Dave? I guess it's the Dencraft link. Let me see
I
if
think
I
it's
can find it.
VIPPDR.com.
I think Dencraft got like a sale.
I think they're all selling them.
Yeah.
A1 has them.
I got it right here.
Oh, A1 has them.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, I'll just put it in there.
Yeah.
Jose
So
asked, should I
Edward here,
use
he
the
said,
go
what
for
did
it,
you say?
Dave? Go
No,
ahead.
I was say Edward here. He was talking about me pulling the paint. At first, he said, oh, I wouldn't have paid for it. And I said it's not about not paying for it. I mean, the paint wasn't pulled before I got there. I worked on the vehicle, and now I did.
Yeah.
And he said,
It's
yeah, and it might land you way more money in the long run by doing that for her, because the reviewer word of mouth will be great from her,
Yep.
and that's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
If I would have said, hey, I'm sorry this happened, I gotta go, bye. That could work out in a lot worse ways than me, kind of sucking it up and saying, hey, this is what happened. What would you like to do? We can go this way. I would like to go this way. Um, and yeah, you got to take the hit, but it was also my fault.
How much was it, Dave?
So the repair, I think I only quoted like $200, 100 something bucks, $200. I ended up coming out of pocket $547. So I lost money on that. But, she was very grateful. She was very thankful. She said she's still going to call us in the future, which, who knows if that'll happen or not. But I
Well,
also
not
don't
even
have a
that.
bad review on anywhere from her. That's what
Well,
is going to be killer.
she's
If
gonna
I
tell
have someone
everybody.
where he came out or they came out, Windy City Dent Repair came out, they pulled the paint on my car, they wouldn't do anything about it. They just left. Bad customer service, blah, yada, 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 1 star. And all of a sudden I'm affected for way longer than the $547.
And also, I think what people get confused is customer service and then customer experience. If you really focus on customer experience, that person standing there with pool paint on their vehicle is looking at you going, how am I going to fix this crap? I don't care. I don't care who did it. Somebody's got to fix this bad boy. And that's customer experience. You can answer the phone, answer emails, all that crap.
Yeah,
It's
she
what
emailed
you're going to
me,
do.
and I could have
Yeah.
easily just said I never got the email. No, I responded.
Mhm.
I said, "Let me know." She says, "Well, I'm going to take it in next
And
week."
quickly.
Yeah, and she, this was, I think it was almost 3 to 4 months later. She finally emailed me saying she was going to take the car in. I responded right away saying, "Okay, just let me know, what the bill is, and we'll work it out." She gave me a copy of the receipt. She emailed me and said, "Hey, this is so and so. Do you remember? I'm going to take my car in. It's going to cost this much." I said, "Okay," and we got it taken care of, and there
Got a
was no
customer for
issues.
life. Now
And
you got a
I mean,
customer for life.
yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully, she gets a newer car. But it is what it is.
Jose
Yeah.
asks, should I use the R4 to start a dent and then go to Sharp? I'm a big R4 fan.
You really
Yeah,
are.
me too.
I use it a lot. I
I
use the
just start
little cherry
using.
caps. I
Yep.
buy them 100 at a pack every time I place an order at Dentcraft, even if it's just for one knockdown. I buy 100 caps. And then I usually work my way to Sharp. I really like the Sharp tips. So,
Yeah.
how
I
about you,
just take the
Chris?
cap off. That R4 tip. I've been using it for the last 6 months. I actually like it.
Yeah.
So all I do is just take the cap off and I finish the dent.
Mm-hmm.
It is sharp enough for me for most of the stuff that I'm working on hail or anything. So.
I usually carry 6 R4s at one time. A couple
Hmm.
without, a couple with the red caps,
Hmm.
on multiple tools because I use it so much. It's a great tip.
So let's
Uh,
see.
Do you
then
guys
it
run
says,
Mobile Tech RX from your phone or tablet? I do both.
both. Both.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I know you
started with
just.
both.
How do you
I
like
just
it now?
started.
So I started with the iPad, and then I had it on the phone. I had both actually, but Ryan finally got
I
you on an
did.
iPad here.
I did.
Technology.
It's definitely more professional when you're with a retail customer.
Yes, sir. I believe
I
so.
was doing a lot of running around, giving them my phone, going to the car, coming back for my phone. The
Yeah.
phone's ringing. The other
Yep.
problem is I couldn't write estimates if I'm walking a lot and be on the phone at the same time. I have Sprint. You can't do 2 things at one time. I don't know why. It is 2018, but having the iPad and the phone, it's definitely a help. It's definitely a good step up. For $20 a month for the service. I mean, why wouldn't you do it? I wouldn't look back now.
Yeah. Same here. I try to keep each a pad in each shop. And the guys use their phone. Most of my guys, they don't answer the phone, so they can use their phone. But yeah, the iPad is money. I'm trying to find this link for Edward. Where is it at?
Yeah, I like the professionalism with the iPad. I definitely like the convenience factor with the iPad. I have the iPad Pro, which also has the Apple Pencil. So it's nice when I'm either writing estimates. I don't know, it's something about having a utensil in my hand with clicking on things. It just kind of makes it easier almost. But then also when I have a customer sign either before or after the repair, here you go. And they're not signing with their fingers. Some people are, I don't know, some people are weird. They don't like touching other people's electronics because of germs. Well, no, here's a pencil. You know, it's like I'm a nice little pencil. You don't need one, obviously, but I definitely like having the iPad. You have an iPad Mini, correct? Is that what you ended up running?
I'm running the iPad Pro 10.5.
Okay, yeah.
Big
So then
yeah, the big
so
one.
but it's also nice too because then you can also do either multiple estimates. You can be closing out an invoice on one and doing something on the iPad. I like having both. It's definitely nice, definitely convenient.
Like you said, Dave, handling the customer an iPad and not your cell phone is night and
Or
day.
a sheet of paper.
Yeah. It's
You know, that can get lost. It can get thrown around in the car. You know.
Hey. You know, I still give a paper receipt. At least like on my Saturday, my big smash days, I'll print it off at the shop, and I usually put my little coupon on top, my little $20 off coupon for referrals or next time customers. So some people take it. If it's on a Saturday, they get a paper receipt. Most of the time, it's an email. Most of my
Yeah,
stuff's email.
that's what I do too. I'll tell them too if they're doing credit card and closing out with me. I said you're going to receive two emails. You're going to receive one for the closed out invoice, and you're going to see one, receive one for the credit card. Say, oh, okay, cool. You know, sometimes they check, sometimes they don't. You know, or they'll ask, "Am I going to get a receipt?" Yes, you are. Here you go. It's going to be a signed copy, right to the email that you provided from the first time you asked us. You know, to give you an estimate. We asked you for your email. We have that on file already. So here you go.
Edward asks, "Is the R4 red cap knockdown?" Yeah, it's the little red caps that you put on the tips. It's a separate piece from the R4.
The
Sorry, Chris, I
R4
cut
is
you
the
off.
tip itself, and then the red caps are the ones that go on the R4 tip.
Yeah. So the combination is, I think it's called an R4R. I think it is. I just looked. So that comes with one cap.
Oh wow! Yep, those
the
are them.
tips. Yeah, that's them.
Those are them.
Yep. R4R. And then you got to get the caps that he's about to. Go ahead, just say something, Ryan, so I can switch to you.
The red caps, you know, like I said, I burn through a lot of them, so I buy a lot of them. And anytime I order from Dentcraft, I buy a bunch at a time. So they do wear through, so they're definitely not. They don't last forever. So as soon as you start, you always look at it and you'll get like a little indent in it. I throw it away. I put a new one on. In the cold weather, they're super difficult to put on the R4.
Yeah.
I actually heat them up with a mini torch sometimes to
Yeah.
just give them a little
Flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they like snap on. I love it. I love them. Go back to this. The question you had, getting a call back, putting a card.
I don't like doing that.
No, I don't do it.
Ask the question though. Ask the question.
What was the question?
So, have you had any luck or any callbacks by putting a card on a customer cars in parking lots?
No.
I won't.
Nope, I don't do it.
No,
I won't.
me neither.
It seems like the gypsy guys do that.
Yes.
To me, it's like if they didn't know that they had a dent and all of a sudden there's a card on their car, they're going to either think I dented it. And they may not even had known they had damage to their car because they didn't care. Because if they cared, they would have called already. They would have looked for a service to repair.
Oh, they would have got it fixed.
That's what. Yeah, they would have called. They would have called already to have a company repair it. Yeah, so that's me personally.
On super sharp crowns. I use it all depends on how the metal's moving for one. But today I had a real sharp. It was a kind of a um kind of a easier crown. Then it had a little point. I use
Man,
the 50 cal dead on dent tool knockdown, which to me doesn't
Yes,
really
there you go,
matter.
Ryan.
this tool, it is a Dentcraft H12,
Love it.
and I use it on a Dentcraft X, like their longer knockdown. This tip is amazing with knocking down crowns.
I love that one.
This is another tip that I keep in stock. I can't believe I came so prepared today, but you
I
know,
know.
And I
you
see
know,
what I didn't realize too is that when you go to Dentcraft, they're gonna have the red and the blue.
mhm.
All of the red tips are softer. They're gonna be a
Mhm.
softer rubber. When you order the blue ones, they're a thicker, a little heavier
Actually, I think the
material.
red is harder and the blue is softer rubber.
Really?
Yeah, if you stick your
I
nail in
think
it,
it
a
was
little
complete
softer.
opposite.
No, this one almost feels like plastic. This
See,
feels like
that was
rubber.
just
Yeah.
me.
So
I don't know.
blue is
Yeah,
softer. Blue is
blue
softer.
is softer.
Yeah, blue is
So I
softer.
just retract everything I just said. That was just a personal thing. That was just a personal thing. But see, I thought it was completely different. But I used the same thing. I used the blue for that actual same tip.
Here's a little tech tip for you guys. The little O-rings, I buy them off Amazon. I put them on the knockdown, on the screw-on knockdown part, in between your tip and the knockdown, and your tip doesn't come loose.
Hmm.
So I buy them right on Amazon. I don't remember the exact size because I buy so many at one time. But here's a little tech tip. You'll hear it periodically on Facebook. Some guys will talk about it. Richard Ralston talked about it. So
Hmm.
Yeah, because if you're hitting, I mean, I've had knockdowns rattle off before, or fly off the handle, or even fly off the edge of the tip. I just don't even realize
Yep.
it as I'm banging on a car. And I hear it rattling, but I don't know that it's all the way at the end, and then it just pops off. Those little grommets are definitely nice.
You're just not focused right there. You're just more
yeah,
focused on the dent.
Always, always.
So hopefully we're coming to the 8 o'clock. So let's let you guys know that we're gonna wrap it up. So get your questions in if you can. And also we would love your feedback on how we can get you guys more involved into these live stream. We're thinking about having a call in for Skype. So if you like that, go ahead and put that in a comment that you would like to call in and ask your questions. I'm trying to think of some ways we can get you guys engaged into these live streams. So if you have an idea,
We love
please
the
leave a
comments too.
comment.
The comments with the questions. If
yes.
someone's watching this later, you have a question or something, just go ahead and write it in the comments. We look at all of them, and we try to respond to, and we do respond to as much as we can.
And check us all
So
out on
yeah,
Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn. Windy City Dent Repair,
I'm gonna
Dentless
give you
Touch.
guys our Facebook group. So let me just send you the link for you guys.
So Jonathan's
So which
asking, dozer or tank? What is it going to be? I guess
He said he
earlier
was
he
gonna
asked
put it.
he asked about a used lot, I believe. Probably going to be a dozer.
yeah,
It'll be easier to get.
that's what I think. There we go. So there's our Facebook group, guys. Please join. We want to bring a community of dent guys just starting out, all the way to experienced guys. Just answer some of the questions that you normally won't see or won't ask. And why is it coming up unfound? Not found. So
It could be because of the status of the group.
it shouldn't be. I'm gonna see if I take the HTTP out.
But yeah, you can find me, Windy City Dent Repair, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I've been trying to post more and more quality videos as of lately on my YouTube channel. Kind of falling back off of Instagram a little bit, which I need to get back onto. Facebook is just kind of there, mostly for customers who want to
Mhm.
leave reviews. And it just kind of updates with my Instagram feed. My website now has an Instagram feed plugin, which I like. I just got that updated, which is cool. So yeah, you guys can follow me there at Windy City Dent Repair.
You can check me out at RPS Dent Specialist or RPS Dent Repair on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat. My
You sent me a
website's
LinkedIn account.
rpsdentrepair.com. Check it out. You'll see some of the smashes I've done on there over the years. So, check us out. And Chris, you're up.
And of course, Chris, dentlesstouch.com. I'm gonna try to be on that Facebook group. But you can check us our Instagram at Dentless Touch. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and YouTube, of course, because
And Instagram.
yeah, Instagram, all the social media,
Everywhere. Pretty much everywhere.
everywhere
Right?
at Dentless Touch, everywhere.
Just come find me.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you guys for coming out.
Recommend if you guys can't afford training, how to start practice and get on that lot.
Yes. Don't
I
ever
think
think you're wasting your time.
Yeah, I think we all know techs that didn't go to any school that are probably pretty good techs. I know two of them that are in my area that didn't go to training. But you also have denttrainer.com. They have an online they may even do a monthly now. So you could pay, I think it's like $50 a month or something, and get all their videos. That's one thing you can do.
All right, we'll take it easy, guys. See you next
See ya.
time.
All right, guys. See
Next
you
Monday.
later. Thanks, guys.
Monday at 7.
All right.